What's up, everybody? We're recording now. This is the Sunday interest meeting for Invstur. Invest in your future. And we're holding this today. We're going to start holding interest meetings either on Thursdays or Sundays. And we'll always give you plenty of time ahead. We just wanted to talk about, first of all, the company and the opportunity, and also give you some current events that show you why we believe this is such a strong opportunity for all of us. First thing up is I am Alvin Hollinger. I am the Director of Sales and Strategy with Invstur. Then there's Mike Murphy, who is the Director of Legal and Compliance. And then there's Mr. Will Johnson, our Tech Specialist Extraordinaire. Introduce yourselves real quick, fellas.
You want to go first, Will?
Sure. I'm Will. I live in Orlando, currently out of the country though, in Rio de Janeiro. But I will be leading the tech side of the project, building our rigs and making sure the company remain profitable. Many of you guys know me already from our cryptocurrency group. Created that beginning of this year. We've had a lot of people come in to learn about cryptos. The reason I mentioned this, we are a crypto company in general. And this is how we're going to be profitable. You take it away, Mike.
Hi, my name is Michael Murphy. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. Currently, I'm out of the country myself. I'm in Costa Rica. I've been here coming back and forth for some time now. Basically, my department, I'm the Director of Legal and Compliance. I make sure that all our legal stature is up to date and current with tax laws and banking laws that are on the books and that might be coming in the near future. I try to foresee that. I look at the current the current situation, what's happening with the banking and the finance industry, to foresee any possible pitfalls so that we can advantageously go around them and not be part of that. I've been involved in cryptos, I would say, going on 8 months now. I've become a very quick study of them. I've equated it to many systems of trading and movement. I find that this is the next generation of actual currency that's going to be utilized. And at this moment, I feel that this is the best thing to be in, and we're doing this at the right time. You know, getting ourselves out of what is slowly eliminating itself as the fiat dollar and going into something much more stable.
Mike definitely touched on what something that he's going to touch on a little bit more later on today. We believe that this is a phenomenal opportunity because the way that we're positioning ourselves is a bridge between the old world of systems and money to the new world of systems and money. And so we integrate both aspects of both sides to create that link. And we also want to seize a position in this new market by doing that. So could we just be a company that just plunked a whole bunch of money towards cryptocurrencies? Yeah, but no, our vision is much bigger than that. We're seeking to master a system that can take advantage of really what's the blockchain. See, Invstur is not just a cryptocurrency or a Bitcoin company. No, it's bigger than that. It's about seizing computer power and helping to build or be a contributor to the building of the next infrastructure of digitized assets, contracts, and currency systems. And that's something that's way bigger than us. That is something that's going to happen regardless of whether we come in with Invstur or not. However, since we have a phenomenal system and we have back-tested numbers, we can do that. We're very confident we can do that. and and we're happy to see that there's so many other people that are confident in us doing that. And we also wanted to, in building a business for ourselves and our circle, we wanted to personalize the experience of being involved in this next digital world that's coming, regardless of whether people are aware of it or not. So that's one of the key points for Invstur. That's one of our missions. Anything else to add, Will?
You pretty much covered it all pretty well, pretty neatly. Yeah, that's basically, we also, I like to say this because a lot of people don't even know what cryptocurrency is. We also seek to train, especially our investors, on what cryptos are and the reason why these pretty much will be the future of money. And really, cryptocurrency is just one application of the true technology behind it. So it's the future of money. It's the future of a gazillion things to come. It's just that it started out with cryptos.
Yeah. What else did I want to say? I think I said pretty much everything I wanted to say about us and what we're geared towards. And also, I'm feeling like I'm missing something, but I think I pretty much covered it. So Mike wanted to talk about a very interesting article he came across. As we do these interest meetings, we're probably going to have 1 or 2 articles to describe the phenomena that we're seeing out in the greater market that we believe Invstur is primely positioned to take advantage of for those involved in Invstur. So here you go, Mike.
I have one question. Can you see the screen share?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to start by showing you what we currently are in right now. The central bank issued money, which is the dollar, the pound, the Swiss franc, anything that we used for legal currency or tender everyday life. However, in the last, I would say, 20 years, we have gone to what we call the electronic system, which is the credit card, which is basically Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, and things of that nature. However, we have actually gone from using credit cards to make large purchases, to make everyday purchases such as Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, you name it, we buy it with a credit card, and that's electronic. In the last 10 years, we've gone from the electric system that I mentioned here, all the way to a chip system. You might have heard saying that they're trying to put a chip in a person, they're going to start marking us, and now all our banking information, all our medical information is going to be in a chip. If you actually look at your credit cards now, there is actually a chip in the right-hand corner, and that chip basically has all your information on that. That said, from 2003 to present day, we have gone into a system of trial and error. The first trial and error, what was known as Pokecoin. Today, we know it as the Pokemon coins that you use to find Pokemons, that you actually gathered up to use Pokemon. That came in existence roughly about 2003. That was the first existence of what we know today as Bitcoin. From that, we have gone all the way to electronic money, again, chipped credit cards. We were able to build that. During that time, they started to reserve it. They started to basically build upon this system, actually transferred out the technology to the medical field, where they call file sharing amongst hospitals, where your medical information can no longer be altered. Okay? Now, if you notice, all the while we were still using electronic, is all connected to what we call the central bank. We were using cash, we're still using cash. And those that were in the know, began to use what we call precious metals, silver, platinum, titanium, gold, things of that nature. However, because the central bank, as we see here, was in complete control of all that, gold standard has basically stayed the same since 1970. Why it has been this way? Because if what we call the growth of any company goes too far to one extreme, we go back to the gold standard. That goes all the way back to this system here, which is the Bank of Amsterdam and what you call the pound. These were the original banks of the world. Their money was based on gold bullion. They would run over gold bullion, and if you had the gold, your money had value. This is the same concept of, you probably heard in Europe, in Germany, that they would get paid twice a day because the money would deflate because they lacked what we call gold.
Weimar, hyperinflationary.
Exactly, hyperinflation. Okay. As I mentioned, we've been in 10 years basically dealing with chips. This is what came into effect, peer-to-peer. That's where we're at now. We're into an era now where peer-to-peer is actually in its prime, and that's where Bitcoin comes in. The concept of Bitcoin of doing transactions and circumventing all of this systematic system. However, the reason why I tell individuals and I preach that it's important to get into Bitcoin today, because what is happening is these two entities, which is Fedcoin and Cadcoin. Now, Fedcoin is what those in the know are calling the American or the United States SEC version of federal Bitcoin, federal chip money. Cadcoin is the Canadian version. That is the whole concept behind NAFTA, North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement. That was the whole concept, to sit down and work on a system, eventually work on a system to build a one monetary system that will be used throughout the Americas and one in Europe. So those that sit on the sidelines in the Bitcoin era or now will be missing out on this revolutionary technology as it evolves, as it's kind of stepping out of its infancy stage and into its toddler stage, and that's where we're at now. However, as we move forward and there becomes regulations, at some point we're going to have to accept the use of a form of a Bitcoin, of electronic funds that go back and forth, because cash will no longer be available. Take, for example, India. They're getting rid of the large denominations. Europe is getting rid of the 500 euro dollar. They're not using that anymore. And it also comes into play with something we might know of, is called UBI, Universal Basic Income. They've decided that in certain countries such as South Africa, such as Kenya and Nigeria, they're going to do pilots utilizing a version of a Bitcoin so that they can furnish certain individuals that are low income with enough money to sustain their livelihood without having to work. Basically, you would call it kind of a welfare system, for layman's term, a lack of a better way of putting it, but it's a way that they can survive. And they're not using regular cash. They're actually trying to get away from cash. So this is where we're actually headed eventually. We don't know if it's going to be a year from now. We don't know if it's going to be 10 years from now. But getting involved today it secures your future. And that is the whole point of getting into Bitcoin today in 2017.
Makes sense. Looks like that's where we're going. Only other thing I would like for you to add, Mike, because of your experience, is what do you feel is happening to the dollar system or the petrodollar, our legacy currency system right now?
You can call it the petrodollar, you can call it the dollar, you can call it the pound. It's all based on a system of oil or fossil fuels. And as we go into reusable energy such as wind, solar, and things that Mother Nature provides for us without extracting from the ground, those systems that were built on that begin to fall apart. And what they do is they begin to look for new ways to keep afloat the economies. So again, as I mentioned here, it all comes from the central bank, the Bank of Amsterdam, okay, the Berkshire Pound. Those are petrodollars. You can call them anything you want, but those are petrodollars. Those are dollars based on fossil fuels. Those are economies based on fossil fuels. And as we get into wind, solar, energy, power, and water energy, we have to release that. And unless they change their system, peer-to-peer as we're doing now with cryptocurrencies, begin to flourish. But sooner or later, they're going to have to change. They're going to have to accept the fact that cryptos is the way to go. Electronic funded money and held money is the way to go. And that is, at that point, is when you begin to see the change.
Mm-hmm. And then that's when, I mean, because we're in between two worlds right now, like you say, Mike.
Exactly.
We're in between the old legacy system that's having too many stress pressures
Mm-hmm.
at different points, and eventually it's going to accelerate in its implosion.
Exactly.
But fortunately, this digital network world is starting to come online. So hopefully the transition from the legacy currency worlds to this digital currency world can be mitigated. And in the midst of all this chaos that's happening and starting to happening, there's opportunity. And that's why we're here. That's why Invstur is here. We're respecting the structures of the old legacy money systems, but we're utilizing the technology of the new money and asset systems. Because it's not just the blockchain is not just a network of currency. It's a network of asset systems, and it's also a network of transactional systems and accountable systems.
Survival.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off. Let's take two extremes. Okay. I'll give you two examples of two different countries that are in two different extremes, and they have adopted and accepted the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency in two different areas and for two different reasons. Let's take Russia, for example, on one end, in one extreme, and let's take Venezuela in the other extreme. Venezuela currently is in an economical crisis because of their political system. However, because of this crisis, they have no food to eat. So they have the individuals in the country have turned to Bitcoins. They have turned to Bitcoin to actually do transactions to be able to buy food and feed their families. Okay? And that has become a necessity in Venezuela. Now, on the other extreme, if you take Russia, yes, there's poverty in Russia, and there's the middle class, and there's the wealth class. However, Russia, seeing the opportunity and the constant growth, the exponential growth of Bitcoin, decided that they were going to suspend the acceptance of Bitcoin, any Bitcoins, whatever form you wanna try and move in the country, has been suspended. Why? Because they turned around and created their own. So you have two extremes why Bitcoin is being incorporated into everybody's daily life.
That makes sense. And it actually is the answer to a lot of criticisms about the legitimacy of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies in the face of operating so much on our current legacy system. See, it's going to come to a point to where people are not going to be like, well, how does this work? I mean, why use it or anything like that? It's going to come down to, thank God this works. I don't know how it works, but I'm happy that it works so that I'll be able to purchase food and keep my daily life going.
Well, the thing is this, and I like how you go into daily life, and that was a great point, because I'll give you another example. As I mentioned, I'm from New York, okay? I lived during the mayoral time of Rudy Giuliani, okay? He created a system called one system, one transit system, meaning you can go from the bus to the train with this, it's called the same fare. Sorry about that. It was called same fare, okay? And you would pay one fare. Now, how could you do that if we used a coin? Sorry about that. It was called same fare, okay? And you would pay one, okay? The thing is, how do you go from the bus to the train or the train to the bus with a coin? You virtually can't. So they sat down with the MTA, which is the Metropolitan Transit Authority, and they decided to create something we call the Metro card. Everybody now knows what a Metro card is worldwide, because it's now worldwide. It's a little card that's flimsy that looks like a credit card, and you fill it up with money. What they did was they said, we're going to implement this, and we're going to give away free rides. They're going to say, okay, fine. If you pay 7 days of rides, we'll give you 10 days worth of rides. So everybody bought the Metro card and abandoned the coin system, okay, the actual coin system. And now there are no more tokens. And that's how I see cryptos being implemented in our daily life. They'll incentivize us to use them, and then they'll begin to eliminate the old system. And then the new system becomes the old system. And those that have got in before this new system is in place are the benefactors of that. So again, another reason why it's best to get into Invstur in 2017 rather than in 2018.
And another issue about the volatility of cryptocurrencies is, yeah, right now, as it's stabilizing, it's going to be volatile. But then you won't feel the exchange of value until you start feeling the drastic, quick decrease in the value of the legacy system.
Exactly.
And when you understand certain things about the United States is now around $20 trillion of debt. And that's just the official government numbers.
21.
We're not talking 21. Okay, I was being concerned. I was being nice about it, but 21.
I got you.
But that's not considering what's called unfunded liabilities, meaning like pension systems,
the banking system, as they did.
Banking system, which is, you know, the dollar basically itself is a debt instrument. In order to keep itself alive, it has to keep expanding itself. But as it expands itself, it devalues all the units that were already in the system. But anyway, 21,000 official. Some experts estimate that really balloons up once you factor in all the debt into the quadrillions. What the hell is quadrillion? You know?
Yeah. Well, you made a comment about the dollar and the banking system. I came across an article yesterday. While we were busy doing whatever we were doing, last Tuesday, they passed a law, not a bill, an actual law that's going to be signed come Monday morning that banks can no longer be sued. So, what does that say to you? That you can go into business with the bank, they can do you dirty, and you have no recourse.
No recourse. No recourse.
So, what happens is, by creating a bill like that, is based on the old system. That is to accelerate the change.
No accountability. They can do whatever they want to do.
Exactly, but what they're doing is based on the fiat system. It's based on the non-gold standard, okay? What we use now. So if they switch over the system, those laws no longer apply.
Mm.
So it's a game play to accelerate what needs to happen.
Basically, if something happens, just like recently in 2008 with the robo signing of mortgages and the bad toxic debts and all that stuff, that means that they're closing the door on even the possibility of any banking institution being sued on basically cooking the books.
Exactly. Again, it's based on the dollar. It's based on the dollar, the Bristol pound, the Bank of Amsterdam, those major banks, the Bank of Africa,
Deutsche.
and because they use paper money, the fiat money. The laws are based on that, and as long as we continue to use that, those laws can be in effect. What they're essentially doing is forcing us as civilians of the world to accept the change. Because if they change it, those laws no longer apply to cryptos.
They want to induce enough hurt that it psychologically pushes us from the old system to the new system.
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing.
You're going to get to a point to where, like, how does this stuff work? I don't even know how it works, but I'm just glad that it's functional. It's functional than this damn dollar that I've been holding on to.
It works. It works because the average human being is honest. 9 out of 10 people are honest. And this is a very honest system. And also it has its checks and balances, because if you got 9 people out of 10 honest and you get that one bad guy, well, you have 9 people saying, whoa, something's wrong. Because they'll say, whoa, something's wrong, because they don't want it to happen to them. And that's why this system has worked so well. Because of that, and because of the technology in the system, that is why everybody's scrutinizing it.
The books will be less cooked. So I guess the question would be, well, you're really going to trust a digital asset to hold at least your functioning currency in? Well, you're already trusting it. The dollar system is mostly digital.
The thing is this: there is over $100 billion in Bitcoin as we speak. Okay, they have been influxing money into Bitcoin and the technology for the last 8 years. Now it's 7-8 years. Okay, it hasn't gone anywhere but up since its inception. It had a latency period, but it is now more commercial, as we like to call it. The corners of the world know about it, and the corners of the world are using it. Take an example of Venezuela. Take an example of what's going to happen in South Africa, the UBI with the Bitcoin that they're creating. Look what's happening in Nigeria, the same thing, a UBI. Because you remember, we're dealing with a system that everybody's looking at, the universal basic income, because we're offsetting animation, AI technology. And the only way they can do that, because it's cost effective to do it digital than to actually do it with paper.
Yeah, because paper actually has a cost to it. Because paper is what's called the paper and the cotton that makes the bills is actually it's a commodity. You need to literally cut down a tree and extract and synthesize ink and cut cotton in order to do that. And all of that requires labor. Labor is a cost in itself. So the value that you're trying to capture with that dollar is eaten up even by the production of that. That's why most of, like, 80% or more of the dollar in the legacy system right now is digital.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, the thing is this: we're dealing with AI right now. Okay, we're going into an AI system, and what's happening in now is they're basically creating robots to be able to create what we need. And a robot can technically create what we call our monetary money. Okay? They can basically create our monetary money. Give me a second. I'm trying to let's see if I can find this here. Voice share. Stop that. All right, let me see if I can find this item for you. I want to.
Cool.
See if
No,
I can,
no problem. In the meantime, what else I also had to add to that is that's why having a more robust digital network that can not only handle currency transaction but also secure
All right.
asset transaction.
Do y'all see this photo?
Yep, we see it.
Okay. Those are kioscos. See those? I took this photo yesterday. This is in Costa Rica. This kiosk. This is in Costa Rica. This is a theater. These are 4 people buying tickets. Okay? They don't need people to sell tickets anymore. So what they're doing is they're eliminating the everyday job. They're going to try, I believe what they're trying to do is create what we call a system of UBI where we're given an income, because as you can see, they no longer need people to do our job. You can go to a kiosk, purchase your ticket, and they give you a number, or you swipe a QR code, and that's it. There's your entry. I came across another article called Crypto Ticket. Okay? Crypto Ticket is the new way of buying a ticket for a concert, for a play, for a plane ticket. So this is where we're headed.
So not only are you cutting out the actual physical ticket, you're cutting out also the labor behind the handling of all those tickets, and you're basically sopping up all of that and redistributing it in different automated forms.
That's correct.
Same thing with the McDonald's incident where people were demanding a $15 minimum wage. So now
they're gonna get it, but there'll be 2 of them.
yeah, they only have 2 human operators and 10 other automated systems in there, and a few kiosks to take the order. Yep.
Now, Will, I have a question for you. Knowing that you're a tech guy, how do you feel, or what do you think that these individuals that are creating this are actually utilizing this, or going to utilize this, or are actually building this whole hierarchy of blockchain and system?
Well, basically, the right now what is being developed as far as is the vision, or I should say the vision about where they want to take this is they're trying to make it more accessible to everybody. So currently what's being worked on behind the scenes is a way to merge crypto in everyday life, meaning make it accessible, make it where you can walk into a Walmart or wherever, McDonald's, and pay with cryptos.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically still kind of like merging the 2 systems, but the true vision is where all of these retailers and restaurants and businesses will straight up accept cryptos as a form of payment.
Like person to person.
Yeah, basically person to person. I was looking at the post the other day that showed many major online retailers accepting Bitcoin, accepting Ethereum. A few of them, uh, Apple, for example, accepts Bitcoin, right? So the once you have mass adaptation, it's no longer a matter of if this is money. It's a matter of it is money. It's legal tender for goods and services. And one thing
Jamaica
to
already has it as legal tender.
yeah, one thing to remember is before when the dollar was backed by gold, you could say, well, the dollar was backed by something valuable, and that's what gave it value. Today, the dollar is no longer backed by anything, right? So we are
For about 50
basically,
years.
it's just a piece of paper. We give it the value because relatively, right? Relatively, you cannot duplicate it other than the US government, of course. You can't really duplicate it. So you give and the faith that if I hand it over to somebody, they'll accept it as a form of exchange is very easy. The reason why today we don't use gold as a form of exchange because it's extremely difficult to if I want to buy a loaf of bread and all I have is a little chunk of gold, how can I give you, change? That's why the whole
Mhm.
monetary system was invented, but we kind of lost that over the decades and centuries that um, it need the actual fiat currency need to be backed by something. If you do some research online, you'll find out 100% of fiat backed by nothing is exactly that, nothing, and it will fail eventually. Now, why does cryptos have value? It bridges a lot. It bridges a lot of this stuff where it's limited. The government cannot create as much as they want. Most currencies, including Bitcoin, which is still to this day the most important, it has a very strict limit of 21 million. What that does is because there's a strict limit of 21 million, it will always stay ahead of inflation. Look at gold, look at silver, always ahead of inflation. What does that mean? If you lived in the times of the Egyptians and you had 1 ounce of gold, today it will buy exactly the same amount of stuff for 1 ounce of gold. That is not true with other currencies and fiat currencies and
Mhm.
whatnot. Now, to bridge all of this to show why this is important to you as a potential investor, as even a person who live in this world, even think about your future, and this is where investor comes in, and we basically provide an opportunity for people who basically don't fully understand the future world that is coming with cryptos, but still want to have a way to
Access.
to invest in their future, right? So you can use us as a vehicle to invest in your future, where we bridge the two worlds, and you basically get a return on your money that you can count on. Now, the returns we're trying to give to people will stay well above inflationary numbers.
Up
Um,
to 10 times more. Mhm.
exactly. So the the problem is right now only a select few who truly understand the cryptocurrency world is making a profit, and they're making a killing, right? They're making a killing while the banking system, they're using your money. Have you ever asked yourself, why exactly do I need a bank to hold my money for me, right? Don't I trust myself enough to hold my own money? Well, while we're giving the banking system our money to hold for us, they're making a money off of it. They're making money off of it by lending it out, and then um, and then charge you when you go out to borrow money from them, right? So it's a win-win for them. What are you getting out of that deal? What are you getting out of it? So when you think about the 401ks and whatnot, you're only getting about a 12% return on your money. We seek to blow that out of the water. This is why we're offering the types of returns, and we're able to offer that by understanding the new technology, by understanding and how it works, and we're going to operate in that futuristic world where we're going to make serious returns, and then we bring those returns onto you as the investor. So that's the whole reason why investors should be important to you, and that's why we're developing this. You don't need to know anything about cryptos per se.
Not to cut you off, but you
Yeah.
made a statement about the 401ks, and I had actually read an article 4 days ago. They are passing a law. I don't know if it has officially passed, where you're going to be allowed to only put in $2,400 into your 401k. That is specifically half of what we were able to do for the last since 1971.
And that's like that's symbolically like closing the door on that. It's a slow shutting down of that system.
Yes, exactly what they're doing now is they're making it. See, our baby boomers, our baby boomers are suffering when it comes to Social Security. They say that the system is failing, is this, is that, which I'm not, the jury's out with that when it comes to me. However, what I do know is by disallowing us to maximize our investments in this system that they're building, it's telling us, well, you need to figure out another way to prepare for retirement.
All
And
it is, go ahead.
And that is why I go back to Invstur, because we are bridging the gap between the old world and the new world and moving everybody into the future so that you are well prepared for what's to come. And you are not only mentally, but financially.
And we're
Yeah,
also not only just taking your working with your proceeds, we're going to be educating ourselves and you guys along the way so that you can understand, so that you see.
yeah. The whole thing about the limits on the 401k is really just it's a sleight of hands. While they're talking about tax cuts, which sounds great in theory, but when you limit somebody to 2,400 in an investment in their 401ks, it's a huge tax hike actually, because what about when you're ready to retire, right? With the current system, if you started investing at like 20, you could have a couple of $1 million to retire on, and that money grew tax deferred. So now when you limit it to 2,400, they're capturing not just the tax upfront, but they're capturing your future opportunity to grow that money. That those are two different things you need to understand. So this is important because we're offering our ground investors a total a percentage up to 44%, and which we know for a fact that we can deliver once we're fully operational and once we bring additional investors on board, meaning as the company grows. So why that's important to you is that if you become an investor with us right now, you will have that opportunity to grow your money at up to 44% a year, and there's no limit on how much you can invest with us. So what I'm trying to say is you can use us as a vehicle, as a retirement vehicle, as a way to save up money for your kids' college and so on. So that's why Invstur, the opportunity we're offering is so very important to everybody.
And it's still so very early in the game. Right now, it's still, I wouldn't say that the cryptocurrencies are a laughing stock to the general populace. It's just something weird. It's just little computer money that nerds play with still at this point. But as each day goes by, more and more people are seeing that there's an actual value in this. Even if it's just about the fast gains that it's having right now, it attracts a lot of speculators into it, which is understandable. However, its value retention throughout the years are going up and up and up, and its resiliency. So you'll come in and you'll see, for instance, Bitcoin, one of the cryptocurrencies, one of the many cryptocurrencies. That's a whole nother issue in itself. You'll see it take a strong dip, but then within a week or two, it's right back or at its high. That's a resiliency move. That means that the market is growing. And Will has said that we're about they're projecting it to grow like 30% more.
Currently, the total market cap of cryptocurrencies together is about $170 billion invested in cryptos. And that's a total for the entire world, by the way. So what does that mean? There's currently only 1% of the world is invested in cryptos, meaning actively has money invested in cryptos. That is projected to reach 1 trillion by the end of 2018. That's a move of only 3% of the world, right? So those are the projections. So imagine holding a coin that is a coin or investment that is very resilient to inflation, that 3%, well, 1% of the world right now knows about, right? Imagine what can happen if you hold that investment for 10, 15, 20 years as 30, 40, 50, even 100% of the world is invested. You know, it'll make the stock, the Wall Street look like amateurs in terms of the amount of money that's going to be invested in cryptos. At that point, once you reach 50%, 60%, you will have a lot of liquidity, meaning I can come to you, I want to buy your bicycle. Hey, give me, half of a Bitcoin. That's an example. That's an extreme example given the value of Bitcoin today because it's $6,000, right? But the idea is I can walk up to anybody and say, hey, I want to buy your goods. How much Bitcoin do you want? And make transactions that way.
The language is going to change. You're going to stop referencing. You're going to stop referencing goods, services, properties, whatever asset that you want to think about. You're going to stop referencing its price in whatever currency, whatever national currency you have, and then it's going to switch to whatever most dominant cryptocurrency it's going to be.
Okay.
Exactly. So the reason why also this is important is we operate in both worlds. Now, if our investors want their money back in US dollars, by all means, they can receive that in US dollars. But we strive to educate people and would prefer to give the returns in cryptos, but there's not a single problem if you want your money in US dollars. But why is that important to an investor who wants to keep their cryptos as they receive them? Either they're collecting their dividends or maybe they want some money back in cryptos. If we started this company back in 2016, let's say beginning of 2016, Bitcoin was at about $600. And it fluctuated, between $400 and $600. Now, let's say we produced one Bitcoin to each investor at $500, and that investor held that Bitcoin. Today, that investor would have had $6,000. That's how serious this is. That's how important this is to understand this and get on board with this.
We on the front end. If you know anything about charts, or they call it the hockey stick. Hockey stick starts off kind of straight, and then it hits a critical point where it starts to bend. but then after it starts to bend so much, it just goes straight vertical. So right now, we're on the beginning of that vertical end, in which the value of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies is starting to far exceed the value of the dollar equivalent. Nothing but upside potential right now. And that's why we want to develop a cryptocurrency business instead of a business that runs only national currencies in it to generate national currency profits.
For any new audience that we reach, basically, if you invest in an investor right now, your money is also protected. We have very strict guidelines on how we're going to invest the money, and it is in what's called mining rigs. The rigs are going to provide a service to the cryptocurrency network, and in return, we get paid in those cryptos, which has value. We can go into any exchange and exchange them for actual dollars.
And you don't even need an actual exchange per se, or it's getting to the point you don't need an exchange. You have certain third-party wallets that hold your cryptocurrencies and convert them into the national currencies. So the whole issue about what am I going to do with all this Bitcoin that I get? I mean, how can it put food in my stomach, or how can I purchase this? That each day that's becoming more and more of an obsolete concept.
Yeah, there are many companies right now that seek to do exactly that. You join you basically, it's kind of like a card service. They work with Visa, MasterCard, and whatnot. So you can invest in cryptos and then turn around and just swipe your card, and they handle the exchange rate for the cryptos on the back end. So you right now today you can spend any money you have in cryptos as actual cash anywhere you go. As a matter of fact, I've been doing that for the past year. I've taken trips where I'm using strictly cryptos that I gained from my own investments, mining investments and stuff like that into cryptos. Mining is just a term we use when we supply computer power to the cryptocurrency network and get paid back. It's kind of like you're going in to mine for gold. It's just a term. So to finish my point was that our investors can feel comfortable because we have a very strict policy on how we're going to protect their investments. So let's say 2 years down the road, you made some money on your investment and you want to take some or part or some or all of it out. We have great confidence that we'll be able to give that return. Now, it's important to join us while we're building the company right now, because after we launch, which we pretty much have the full green light for launch on January 1st, we will no longer offer the up to 44% opportunity. This is more so like a thank you to people who jumped on board early and helped us get started and succeed. Even the new percentage we are offering people at that point, past the date that once we've launched, the up to 20% is what we've decided. That's way more than any entity will give you right now on any investment, right? There's nowhere else you'll get more than 12, maximum maybe 14% return on an invested money. So think about that. And if you have any questions on how to join us, definitely throw in the questions through our Facebook group below the videos. And then we'll, if you need more information on how this works, we'll contact you directly and discuss this opportunity.
And frankly, not only that, but our entry point into such a vehicle, I just can't think of any other vehicles right there who would give you that, who will conservatively push for that kind of return at such a low entry point. I mean, some of the more aggressive yet conservative investments that I know of, you still need to require at least maybe 5,000, 10,000. The realistic answer is usually somewhere around 15,000 out of pocket. So
Exactly.
heavily consider. We're very excited about our opportunity, and we're going to continue to give you guys more information and also more opportunities to ask us any questions you want based upon our system. Mike, you have anything to add?
No, I just wanted to touch base and say that, look, I'm very excited about the opportunity. I'm coming on board. I'm making sure all the legal stuff's the legal is and we're in compliance, and that we keep our guidelines on par with what they need to be on par, so that we are actually dealing with our clients and our investors with the utmost respect and utmost responsibility. You know, I always, like I say, you have any legal question that you may have pertaining to possibly investing, an idea you might have, or you may have any kind of insecurities in one area of crypto that you might have heard from the grapevine or anything like that, come to me. We'll sit down, we'll talk, we'll look at it, we'll pull out the articles, we'll look at the current banking system, the current laws in the book, we'll look at how they're changing, and we'll all work through it. Because I believe that this investor dealing with this crypto investment trust system, where we're working with cryptos and forwarding and forging ahead in this world that's upon us, we will all come out beneficial. We will all become financially stable, because at the end of the day, that's what we're all looking for. We're all looking for comfort. An investor is here to do that. Coming on board with an investor will give you comfort tomorrow and the day after that.
Now, our model, we continue to stress test it. We continue to review it to make sure it is sound. And like I said, we are very confident still to this day that we are going to be able to deliver consistent and strong returns to our investors. Now, while that part is true, we are, as a startup company, we're still trying to get all the little kinks out of the technology, like bringing especially even this Facebook Live event. This is something we've been working on to try to bring it to a much larger audience. So we had some kinks and stuff like that. We're still working on fixing those and bringing you more professional knowledge and content here. So just bear with us. Everything is coming into place. We just finalized our registration. We are a legally operated company in the United States of America. And we're also finishing up the touches on our contract. So for everybody who showed interest, even some people have already invested even before they've seen the contract, because they understand the value in what we're offering. Those contracts will start coming out to you guys to review and make your contributions, so we can get this thing started.
Transparency. That is what we're also going to deliver.
So we also have official emails. And Mike, you go ahead and touch on that. We have official emails for the company and an official address where we are located. Go ahead, Mike. I'll give some more information on that.
Okay, we have official emails. If you have any information that you need to know, as I was saying, you can contact me or Will at contact@invstur.com. You have anything, any financial question, anything that you need to deal with as far as payment, receipts, or anything like that, anything accountables, or any ideas that we'll be dealing with, anything that's finance, you can reach me directly, even any legal problem, at accounts, that's ACCOUNTS, at investor.com. If you have any ideas in regards to marketing, anything, any ideas with sales, any sales related question, any marketing related question, you can reach Mr. Alvin Hollinger at sales@investor.com. We have a turnaround period of roughly 24 hours, and everything we'll be setting up, either set up a meeting or your questions will be answered. We have a address where we receive all correspondence, which is 9450 Southwest Gemini Drive, Suite 90126. That's in Beaverton, Oregon, 97008-7105.
All right.
So
Awesome.
we're here to help you. We're here to guide you. We're all here to forge ahead in this business crazy world, and to make a place and make sure that we're all stable for tomorrow.
Our official website will be up by the end of November. And once we've launched, we are working on ways to lower the entry point, because the entry point right now basically is what it is, because we're trying to build the company and also give a great return to the investors who jumped on board at the ground level. The entry point will be lowered, and people can actually go directly to our website and review our contracts and invest and whatnot. That is all the stuff we're still working on in the back end, but all in all, everything is coming into order very nicely, very quickly.
The stronger you come in, the stronger your returns will be. That's just a general rule across the board. So I understand, people may have different entry point situations or what they can give, and they have the desire to give. But again, this system is designed to benefit everybody involved and to have us prepared and ready for the next coming economic system. I guess one last thing as a final note, if we don't have any questions, is there was another objection that I come across when it comes to dealing with cryptocurrencies, and that's like it's a smaller issue of real money, and it comes from my brothers and sisters who are probably gold and silver bugs. I tend to be a silver bug. I want things that are real, tangible, and exchangeable, and fairly liquid. So my story was I have some holdings in both silver and Bitcoin, and what happened was the value of silver is so well not preserved, but so well controlled that it stays, basically, if you look at a chart over the last 5 years, it stays in a very, very tight pattern value-wise. There was a time like around 2011 where things, where it would go extremely up volatility, almost touched $50, which was its value back in the 80s. Anyway, so what did I do? Well, I have one foot in the crypto world. I have another foot in the gold and silver world, and of course, I deal, I get paid and pay in dollars. So the crypto world has been fairly decent. Its gains have gone pretty strong, and all I simply did was took some of the gains off the table, converted them into dollars with a very minimal fee, and then bought some silver. I managed to turn digital assets, things you can't touch, into something you can touch.
Exactly.
I don't know what other way to describe it. So And it's just going to get better because you'll be able to, I mean, I know of people who've actually bought cars with them. There's reports of people buying homes with them. So if it's an issue of realness or not, I don't know how much more real you can get when dealing with a digital asset.
Speaking, you touched on something about homes. I know a group in Atlanta, and I know they've extended out to Utah and Colorado. They're buying homes at auction with Bitcoins. At literally United States auctions, they're going there and purchasing their homes with Bitcoin. Auction tax lien homes. So to say that they're accepting Bitcoins for tax liens, that's some government entity at some level. So this is where it's headed.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, ladies and gentlemen. But we can only tell you so much.
Oh yeah, there's so much going on in the cryptocurrency world that I would love to talk about, but quite frankly, a lot of people would start getting a headache 5 minutes in because some people don't. It's just something that is currently very complicated right now. Just think about it this way. Think about when Microsoft created Windows. Now, what happened was all you knew was you press the power on your computer, it comes up, you're using Windows, you're on Facebook and everything. But what you don't understand is there were hundreds and sometimes thousands of programmers that sit on the computer for hours on end, writing line by line of computer commands to make everything you push, every button you push happen. Well, this is where we are with the crypto world right now. Us who dive in and build these rigs, we're building the infrastructure, we're putting in the work so that 10 years, 15 years down the road, everything works seamless. But the lesson to learn is the same lesson where when Microsoft was coming out, when Google was coming out, their stock values were pretty much next to nothing. But look at them now, right? If you invested back then, look at them now. So somebody once told me that they're not an early adopter. And my response to that is, when you look at something like this that has so much potential, you cannot help it than becoming an early adopter if you want to make some serious money in the future. And that's basically it.
There's going to be some billionaires that are made from just sitting on freaking Bitcoin that they got in 2010, 2011.
Oh yeah, definitely. But anyway, I don't know how many viewers we had on the Facebook live stream. If we have any viewers who would like to come in and ask questions, we can definitely bring you into the conversation live as we're talking to you right now. We can pull you in live. If you have a camera, we can see you. If you don't want to be seen, we can just hear your voice. We want to be very transparent and answer all of the questions people have about how the company works and so on, so that people understand this. We are a serious company. We will be transparent. We will make sure that everybody is protected in this venture.
The links, oh wow, we got some jumping going on now. The links are in the, I just dropped the link into the Invstur pre-launch page in the comments section. I think I can do that with the cryptocurrency session again.
I already done that.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got some people watching. Don't be scared. This is what we're here for.
I sent it out to some people.
Oh, okay. Cool. We got a few moments.
So I just wanted to let everybody know. Let everybody know that we're here, we're live, and we're actually looking forward to speaking with them and understanding their concerns.
Yep. let's do a quick 5-minute. We can do a quick 5-minute thing. Like, we'll be here. I'm just probably gonna play a little music until we see how we can get some people in, man. Because there are some people definitely watching. We're waiting on you guys.
Give me a second.
Here we go. Let's get some music in here.
I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'll be right back to answer any questions.
All right.
Sounds like a plan. We're gonna play some music.
Tough kids.
Society has rules, you know. We don't wag our tails for anyone.
Bye-bye.
back.
All right. Are we ready to try to bring in some questions? Alvin?
Hold on a second. All right, and turn the music down. Let's see. We currently still do not have anyone coming in to ask some questions, but that's okay. We delivered a lot of content tonight. We'll give them a few more minutes, and then we'll keep bringing you guys some phenomenal information.
If you have questions and you're watching the Facebook Live, just send a quick chat on the video, and we'll be able to bring you in.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a question. There's a question, Tim. Do I have to join via my phone? I would say you need to actually have a video camera because this is kind of a live feed.
Well, some people may not want to join with the video. They don't have to. You can join. You can join with your computer or with your phone. It doesn't matter. We have a link. We have a link. You can actually call in on the phone. We have a number. All you have to do is enter the meeting ID, and you'll be live with us right here.
And that will definitely be something we as the investor team will put in the information about how to call in by phone, which is something that I forgot this time around. My bad. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to join in with your computer, as long as you have a microphone, that's the minimum requirement. You could just join in right now, and we'll talk to you.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Shout out to the the several viewers we got. Somebody's watching on their end. Hello, people. Hello, people. If you have any questions about anything, just click the link. The Zoom US 5833-56672 link in the comments, and you'll come in directly in on us.
Okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. But that was a lot of content given. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot more interesting articles that we're going to find to share with you and show you the case that there's one world shutting down, there's another world that's opening up, and we're right there in the middle of it, understanding how the changes in one world are reflecting towards the new world when it comes to digital assets, economic transactions, contracts, all of that stuff.
Also, I think it bears. We should mention this. If you don't want to come on, if you just have a quick question and you don't want to come on the live feed at all, feel free. Just drop it into the chat, and we'll respond to your question.
Yeah, the comment section on these live videos. You can even tag one of either Will, Mike, or me.
Exactly.
Oh, we have a question. Mr. Tobias Kaufman says, what currencies? Well, the way that we're set up right now, we're a cryptocurrency company. Dollars come in. Oh wow, these guys. This is all at the Invstur pre-launch group, guys. I'm just telling you and Will. But the question was, what currencies? We're primarily cryptocurrencies. So you put in an investment position with your dollars. Your dollars go to work towards developing, helping us develop stronger and stronger computer power so that we can mine more and more cryptocurrencies. Once that's done, you have the choice of receiving a disbursement in cryptocurrencies. From that point, you can decide to either convert it into dollars or to hold it as cryptocurrency.
Yes, basically, I want to elaborate a little bit more on that. On the back end, we will be mining the most profitable cryptocurrencies to produce the highest return possible. And as we mine those cryptocurrencies, we will in turn turn them into real dollars to capture the productivity and the profitability immediately. Now, on the front end, if you wish to be paid in a cryptocurrency, you just name the cryptocurrency you want to be paid in. We factor in the conversion, and you get paid into that cryptocurrency. It's as simple as that.
We have another question by Mr. Stephen Payne. He asked, what's the least and most you can invest? Well, our minimum position currently right now, officially, is $1,000. For that $1,000, we seek to conservatively give you up to 44% within a year's time. Other questions is let's see. Tobias asked about cryptocurrencies. What's here live? Well, this is our interest meeting for Investor Our Company, Tobias. Joe has an excellent question. He said, would all the investors become members of the LLC? And if so, how are their profit, loss, and capital percentages determined? Prorated based on the amount of their investments, will there be any capital calls in the future? Mike?
He's talking about investing, basically hedging his investments. Basically, we're looking at, I guess for a lack of a better way of putting it, a paper play. You put down 1,000. Okay, the model that we've kind of created is not a lose model. What may happen is your return, your ROI would probably take a little bit longer to realize, as they say, 1,000% or matching the $1,000 that you put down. Instead of taking the allotted time that we have of 2 years, it may take 2.5 years to get that. But you're coming on board making 44%, okay? And we're looking at roughly $400 per quarter, okay? I'm sorry, $440 per year. Now, if you multiply, that's again 2.5 years, okay? That you would get your investment. We're not going to ask for a position and not have the funds, because again, at this stage of the game, the funding is going into the initial part of the company, which is the mining itself, the equipment. And with that said, we're not currently in a position where we're working on where we're investing on what y'all call orders.
For such a volatile and young market that we have right now, we're very confident that our model is both conservative yet lucrative, because we did the numbers.
And also, don't forget, the reason we're offering the 44%, up to, it's important to remember it's up to the 44% return, is that we're looking for people to invest in us and who will grow with us. So if you invest with us from the ground level, not only do you receive the highest percentage once we're functional, as we're profitable, for the life of you being with us, you will continue receiving that percentage. That is not going to be true for anybody who joins the company later on. While we will still be offering a lucrative return, it will not be at the level as it is now. So yeah, the entry level is high, but you also will get a much higher potential return on the money. Now, on our model, we don't want to come out and promise everybody absolutely we'll be able to kill that every time, although we believe we will, but we don't want to promise everybody that. Based on our model, I am 100% confident that we'll be able to
expand on what Will is saying. Think of this as we talked earlier, a 401k, a Roth IRA, or annuity. If you come on board today, so to speak, you're guaranteed up to the 44% for the life of your portfolio. So anything that you would invest afterwards would still be at that 44%. So it's not like, okay, I'm dropping 1,000 and I'm gonna get 44 up to 44% with that. And then if I want to come in and say, oh, good, I'm making money, and I want to drop 5,000, or I want to drop another 500, am I going to still get the 44% up to the 44%? Yes. You will get to the up. You will get up to the 44% because you came on board in the beginning. You are one of the original investors, and it's what we call a
Legacy.
thank you percentage.
You'll get the legacy percentage. Get in on the ground floor with us, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Payne had two questions. First question is, what about hackers? So he wants to know what kind of security that we seek to have in the for our system.
I can expand on that. I will be developing the infrastructure for the company when it comes to the actual web-based with pretty much anything that has to do with the IT and computers. If you guys, I'm assuming the person who asked the question doesn't know anything about me. Currently working on my master's in computer engineering. I've been in the IT world for over 15 years. I have a ton of experience with cybersecurity and all of that. Now, we will implement every safeguard to safe keep your money. Now, understand your money is in hard cold assets. Those mining rigs that we're going to be building, they hold a tangible value where, that can't be hacked in any way. So the reserves we're going to be holding as a company is going to be held in US dollars, not in cryptos. Now, even if we decided to hold our money in cryptos, understand one of the primary design in crypto is security. Crypto, the first part of cryptocurrency is that cryptic. It's encrypted to the highest level where you cannot duplicate a single half of a millionth of a crypto. You just can't, because of the way checks and balances are designed into the system. I can expand more on that some other time, but the system is built where people all across the world own the cryptos, and they serve as check and balances to ensure that everything is correct at the very same time. So in order to hack a system like this, you would have to hack every what's called ledger that exists around the world at the very same time. You would need more than an army of hackers working together in order to do that.
Excellent question. Now the other question from Stephen Payne is, do you get a percentage of investments? Of course. That's why it's an investment opportunity for you, up to 44%. That's our core. That's our core aim.
Any more questions?
Questions? What does 2FA mean? I'm not sure exactly what he's asking on that.
Two-factor authentication. What he's looking at is he's talking about the CRM model when for our website. How can we verify, or what system of verification will we have to make sure that there is no hacking? That again is a will-quote answer.
Yeah, exactly. Two-factor authentication, I'll explain what it is, and I'll explain what we're doing to protect our investors with that. Two-factor authentication is the ability to, is implementing the rule in your system that before you can log in into your account, that you actually have a secondary fail-safe of authentication. What that means is you go in, you put in your username, you put in your password. That's your primary authentication. You're the only one who's supposed to know that password. But as we know, hackers exist. They have multiple ways of obtaining that information. Now, where you have a second layer of security where we could send a code to your phone after you enter your password. You have to enter that code as well. That's the second factor authentication, right? So that's what that is. Now, what we're working with a highly qualified individual who is developing our website. This gentleman has been in building websites for major companies for over 10 years. He will implement all of that for us, because that's a very good question, because we will provide our investors the ability to go online and see their money at work for them. So while it's a representation of the money, people can't really steal that money that's going to be shown on the website. It's just a realistic representation of what your money is doing for you. But we still want to have security all the way around to protect investors' information. And also internally, I will be implementing a basically need to know. The database is used to hold information for our investors. Not everybody who works for us will have access to that information. Only the higher level and IT staff will know how to access this information. So that's basically all of our security here in a nutshell.
Joe is asking which companies. I'm not sure exactly. He's asking who's building our website, or what is this all about?
Can you ask him to explain what do you mean by what it's all about? To be more specific, so I can answer that.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yes, can you please ask him that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he can view the stream, right? Should be able to.
Yeah, he must be watching the stream. But I will ask him in the group.
Because who's building our website, Will just actually touched on that. We're dealing with a company that is out of the United States, in the area of Florida. Who's again, Jacksonville, to be specific, has been in business and doing websites for large companies. Companies such as oh geez Christ, we have so many, such as the Broward Hospital and the Dade County Police. However, for basically the last 10 years, what this is all about, if I understand it, is basically we are a cryptocurrency investment, a capital investment, and an equity firm that is transitioning from an old system to a new system, as we see and everybody else worldwide sees that cryptocurrency is the wave of the future. And what we're doing is we're taking advantage of that now, basically sooner than later, because it's going to happen. So do you want to secure your future now, or do you want to still be in the same rat race that we're in now with the fiat denomination that is currently dying out?
Well, hold on a second. I think I could drop this information. Mike, Olufemi is asking what company as well. I'm going to put this into the Facebook Live chat. This is our actual information. We're filed as a LLC already. We also have our address, all of that. Paste. There you go. Let's see. I'm about to drop it right now for Olufemi.
The question about what company, is it about what company is designing our website, or what does that mean? I'm not sure I understand.
That's what I'm asking him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. What else? We got it. Of course, we got the EIN number, all of that. And Joe says the background of the person who's been on the website. Okay, I think you guys answered that for Joe. Which major companies has he built websites for?
Well, I kind of went into that. I said companies such as like maybe Cisco, Broward Hospital, things that companies like Miami-Dade Police. I mean, I don't know if you get any bigger than that. He's in Jacksonville.
I don't have all of that information on top of my head, but I will definitely contact the owner of the company, and we'll post the answer to that question in the.
Second thing, to expand on it, we're in conversations with individuals that have worked in areas such as NASA and utilizing and has been brought to us their type of security module. So I mean, I don't know. I believe the gentleman's asking us what have they done to secure security, and I mean, to be honest with you, when you have people that work out of NASA and those areas, you don't get more secure than that. That's why I ask you, can you expand on that to be certain?
Cool. What else we got? How can we verify that? Please provide his name. We will have to, we will personally send you the information once we get, yeah.
Now, I'm not sure I am comfortable giving the owner's name on Facebook Live. I'll be more than happy to give the name of the company.
That's exactly what we're saying.
I'm texting the owner right now. I know him personally. Hopefully, actually, he just responded to me, but he hasn't answered the question yet. But he will, as soon as I get an answer, I'll bring this to you guys live here in just a second.
Okay, that's not a problem. Any more questions on Alvin?
Let's see. Everything you guys are saying needs to be corroborated by investors. Our investors should do their due diligence. That is always the most important thing, for you to do your due diligence. Ask your questions, because guess what? Your questions, your due diligence becomes a stress test for our model. So we've actually been looking for sophisticated questions, and we are developing a frequently asked questions page that will be on our website. We're very confident. We're very confident in our model. We're very confident in our back-tested numbers, proven on proven on performance of our tech team, Will's information and his analysis and his experience. We got a solid system.
Okay. Sorry. I have the answer you guys have been asking for here. The name of the gentleman's company is called Antene. You can go to www.antene.agency. It's Antene is spelled ANTEAN and then .agency, just like it sounds. And he has informed me all the big names that they've done work for are listed on the website, so you can do your
portfolio. www.anteanagency.com.
Yeah, no. It's Antene.agency is the website itself.
Gotcha. Okay. Mike, because let's see. Joe's still asking questions. We need to be able to verify your answers with independent evidence. So Joe wants to see probably our EIN number, LLC.
That's not a problem.
As a matter of fact, it's already posted on our.
It's in our group, but that group is specific to a genre. So if he can send me a private message, email at accounts, AACCOUNTS at Invstur, INVSTUR.com. I'll be more than happy to get that over to you.
The website again for our website guy is ANTEAN.agency.com.
That's correct.
Okay.
So as he was saying, everything they need to know about the legalities of the company, when was it formed, how was it formed, who are the members, how everything's going to be, how it's going to be set up and function. The email address I submitted to you, I'm more than happy to provide that to you.
Yeah, and this is why we're doing this live. I want everybody to understand it. This is why we're doing this live. It's in an effort to be as transparent as possible. Bring your hard questions. We're going to answer all of them right here live, so people understand what this is, and if they decide to join, what exactly they're joining. So bring all of your questions.
Thank you for the questions, Joe. We'll answer them, and we'll make sure that we make them public. So you're asking about me. You're asking about the full background of the website developer, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his question.
Yeah, like I said, I've provided the website. You can go to the website. They have a full list of their backgrounds, etc. Two of the major companies they've actually worked for are Subway and Nike. So I doubt these companies would hire a company that doesn't take security at the highest level.
Awesome. Any more
questions?
Are you guys on the investor insiders? I'm not insiders, but investor pre-launch page.
You mean our portfolios? Our profiles, I should say.
Yeah, the page, the actual investor.
We haven't posted that yet, but we're in the process of doing that.
Okay, hold on a moment. Let me see if I see.
Well, Alvin, you have a task tonight.
Yep. Let's see. Able, how much money? Oh, Arlen, how much money to save up for the next investment? Oh man, well, we're gonna make sure that we do a solid performance with this first go round. That one's gonna be to be decided.
Well, my question to Harlan is the following. What does he consider next investment? I mean, what time frame was he considering next investment?
Good question.
Because as far as I'm concerned, there's always the investment opportunity. It's just a matter of how everything's positioned. Because as we're dealing with other entities, there are other opportunities.
I want to make sure that I have this website right, perfectly right. It was ante.agency.com, or was it?
No, it's ANTEAN.agency. No .com after agency. No, nothing. Agency is the
Boom. Okay.
Yeah,
I want to make sure
it's
that
it's like that agency is just like .com, .co, .uk. That's what that is.
ANTEAN agency. There we go.
Yeah.
Got it. .agency. Got it. All right. Cool. That should lead them to the right place. Sorry for the mistake, ladies and gentlemen. We have any more questions?
Make sure you do www.
It populated. It populated in the chat. It populated. Everyone. Okay. Thanks. we definitely want you to do your due diligence, Joe. Sound like you know what what you're looking at.
Yeah, we really encourage that. Uh, do as much due diligence as you can on your end. Ask us as many questions you want to on our end, and like I said, it's a
Because
great opportunity. Some people have even asked us if this is not like a pyramid scheme. This is why we're doing this right here, to ensure people, so people can have all the answers to their questions, so they understand
yeah,
this is not even close to that.
This
let's
again,
definitely touch on that. We won't be paying returns out of the money that's coming in from an influx of new members. We will be paying returns based upon the phenomenal performance of our hash power that we're going to be building.
Let me put it in a way that a lot of people can understand a little bit better. It's like this. It's like there are certain companies on the internet that um, provides cloud storage. For example, the more cloud storage they have, the more clients come on and pay for the cloud storages, and they produce an income. That's what we do. We provide the service we provide is computer power. You just call it computer power. We don't need to go into hashing power and all that stuff. Call it computer power. The currencies require computer power to process all of their investments. They need that. They depend on that to actually be functional. So they have to pay for that. The way they pay for that is they pay you in the currency that you're providing the power for. Now that currency itself holds value. So if you were providing computer power to Bitcoin, for example, and let's say you make 1 Bitcoin a month uh, in returns, Bitcoin is worth $6,000, 6,000 real dollars. So we turn the 1 Bitcoin into actual US dollars, and we pay our investors, we pay the maintenance, the overhead for the company, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Cool.
To expand on that, everybody that comes on board has a portfolio. Everybody's familiar with an annuity or IRA or mutual fund, your particular portfolio. As you invest in your portfolio, you increase your returns because they can be invested into the system. If you bring in a friend, a family member, or such, they will each have their portfolio. They will make money or return or dividend, as we call it, off of their portfolio or the money they put in or keep putting in. You are not paid for bringing in or recommending a client. You want them to take advantage of what you're taking advantage of. There is no system of you're in, now you need to bring in 5 or 6 people. If you bring nobody in, that's fine. If you bring people in, that's fine. Because you're going to make money regardless if you have
Exactly.
brought in people or you don't. The benefit of bringing in other investors is the more invested money there is, the more computer power there is. So there is more mining done. And the more mining done, the more coins fall out of the sky, so to speak, so they can be divided. But is it necessary? That all depends on how much you want to make.
Exactly. And what Mike said is exactly correct. If you invest your $1,000, now we encourage that you continue to invest in us as a vehicle for your retirement. But let's say you invested $1,000 and you sat back and relaxed, you are still going to be making your money on your money. There's nothing pyramid about that. Absolutely nothing.
Nope.
Because if people truly understand what a pyramid is, You come into the company and then you work your butt off to bring in other people into the company to make money. You make money off of them, we make money off of them, but the whole thing is subjecting to collapse at any point where people either lose faith in the system and no longer join the system, and then it's a domino effect. It just collapses in on itself.
It's
Nothing like this at all.
It's beautiful until it's not. It's
Exactly.
until that very last line keeps struggling to feed the line before it.
And also, we are, like I said, we are legal in the United States. Our contracts are legal in the United States and will be around the world pretty soon. Don't forget, this is an asset-based company. We hold tangible assets as those mining rigs. They're expensive systems to build. They hold value because specifically of the video cards that we are going to be using to providing the computing power, which at any point can be turned around into cold hard cash to return investor investment. But it won't even get to that because we have a system in place of actual US dollar reserves to return any investor and any investor request on their money.
So the equipment used in this will be hard assets of the so as we add on by hard asset basis, not only are we adding on the back end value by generating more hash power, but we're also adding front end value by adding to our infrastructure, the actual physical infrastructure. Any other questions?
Yep, there you go.
I'm looking. Hold on a second. I don't see. Hold on a moment. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Check to make sure you didn't miss any of the questions in the previous comments, because I know these things tend to go by very fast.
Kind of fast. Yeah, this is true. I am looking. Hold on. Nah. Doesn't seem like it. I'm looking. I'm looking at all the comments right now. Nobody really just came in and joined us on the actual feed. The link was there. Perhaps.
And that's okay. As long as they have their questions answered, that's fine.
Yup. I'm looking. Not seeing any updates. So I guess we'll give it 5 more minutes. And then but this was awesome. This was awesome. And we look forward to just more and more awesome ones. New information, new developments behind the company. We'll be able to present more for you guys and all that stuff.
All right, so that's pretty much it. I believe we can probably start wrapping it up. If you are interested in joining us, you can send either me, Will, Michael, or Alvin your questions directly, or drop it in the video. We'll be actively trying to answer those questions as well. Our hope is that you will come on board. So definitely get in touch with us if you are interested in joining us. That way we can get you started down the correct path.
Definitely like the investor info and pre-launch page. Also, make sure that you make sure that your following is set to either default or preferably see first. And also for notifications of live video, definitely set those notifications on. Once this shut down, it usually asks you, do you want to turn those notifications on or off? And tell your friends, tell your smart friends too, like the ones who got established business history and information, tech specialists. Bring them. We need excellent questions to stress test our model so that when we hit the ground running, we hit it hard. And
And on that point that you just mentioned, while we are not currently hiring people for other areas other than sales and marketing and stuff like that, we expect to grow exponentially. So not only tell your smart friends about the opportunity, tell them about us, but because we're constantly on the lookout for great talent to join our ranks as well. So tell anybody who might be interested in joining us. We'll keep them in our back pockets until we actually have a tangible position to offer them.
Because the last thing that we want to do, or one of the last things we want to do, is become radically successful really fast and be bottlenecked by our success. We want to be able to scale as fast and as conservatively and as resiliently as possible.
All right. Any last words, Michael?
Any last words?
I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity to share with you. I hope to see you on board, and I expect to be challenged.
Definitely. Thank you very much for your questions. Thank you very much for your questions. Thank you for watching this live feed, and continue to bring us more questions, and then join us.
Stay tuned. Next interest meeting will either be held this coming Thursday or this coming Sunday, to be decided. Time to be decided. We appreciate you guys for your presence and your questions. And everyone, have a good night.
All right. Good night. Thank you.
Good night. See ya.